shortly. Right now, we want to take a look at the story behind the most popular contemporary Christian tune of all time. It is now a major motion picture. Here's your first look at I Can Only Imagine.
Let me ask you something, Bart. What are you running from?
My dad. He
beat you, didn't he? You ain't got no poker face, kid.
And I carry that. I have to live with that, you know? I always will.
Then write about it. Stop running from it. Let that pain become your inspiration. And then you'll have something that people can believe in. But to do that, you've got to face your fears, son. You know, Bart, I may not always believe in your music, but I do believe in you. You sold me, kid. Don't quit.
And that was a powerful scene from the film I Can Only Imagine. And joining us now is the gentleman you just saw in the film, Trace Adkins. He portrays the manager for Mercy Me in this film. So tell me, how familiar were you with the story behind this popular song?
I didn't have a clue. I had no idea where the inspiration for this song came from. Of course, I was familiar with the song, but then I read the script and was just blown away by the whole story. And so I signed on immediately after I read the script. I told the directors, yeah, sure, I'd love to be a part of this, and I'm really glad I got to do it.
How would you describe the message of this film?
Well, it's all about hope and redemption, you know, and that's what Andy Irwin told me, one of the co-directors of the movie. He said, look, this is a story about redemption. And I said, well, sign me up, because I could use a dose of it. And, so that's really, that should be the takeaway from this film, that nobody is beyond hope and nobody is beyond redemption. And that's what this film's about.
In the scene we just saw, you really give Bart a wake-up call because he is ready to quit. What can you tell us about Mr. Brickell and his relationship with Bart?
Well, it was very close, and this was a first for me. I was portraying somebody that not only was alive, you know, an actual human being, but he was there on set most days, and so I would get to talk to Brick before I would do these scenes, and how intense was this? You know, what attitude, how did you approach him in this situation? How sympathetic were you? And all these things. And then after the scene, I would say, was that even close? And so I got to have all these conversations with him. And that scene, you know, Bart was about to quit. He was about to go home and just say, I'm done with this. And so Brickell sat down and had a heart-to-heart with him and told him, you know, I don't think you should hang it up yet. I think you should, you know, I think you have something to say, and as soon as you find your voice, everybody's going to have a chance to hear it. And you know, that was a very important moment in both their lives, and I think it came across pretty good, pretty real, and that's how it actually went down.
Absolutely. We see that scene where he is ready to quit. You are a successful country music star. I imagine you've had moments like that yourself where you're ready to give up.
Sure, yeah. You know, you think, well, if it's not, you know, if it hasn't happened by now, it's not going to happen. And yeah, we've all, I think, hit that wall a time or two. But now it's like, how did I get here? You know, how have I stayed around this long, and why do I deserve all the, you know, the great career that I've had and everything? It's, now I'm on the other side of it. How have I done this? You know, so I don't take it for granted.
Indeed, indeed. I imagine there are many themes of faith in this film. How did this film impact you personally in terms of your faith?
Well, redemption, you know. I am a flawed human being, and Yeah, the whole theme of redemption was one that was not lost on me. And just to be a part of this film, and there was a moment where we were shooting one of the last scenes in the movie. I don't want to give anything away, but it involved Dennis Quaid, where he's standing in the middle of this empty theater, and there was nothing happening except the song was playing, and Dennis was standing in the middle of that theater. And I'll never forget that. As long as I live, I'll never forget being on set that day and seeing that. And there was something that happened on the set that day that just affected everybody. I don't know if there was a dry in the house after that scene. And there was Dennis was literally doing nothing but standing in the middle of that theater. And just the way the scene was shot and lit and everything, there was something magical that happened that day. And just for that moment, I'm glad that I was a part of this film.
Yeah, I know that moment very well, and nice to know the behind-the-scenes story of that moment. It is beautiful, certainly worth seeing. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and once again, you do an amazing job in the film.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It was a pleasure speaking to you.